Hey guys, what's going on? We are here. We're gonna do. I'm excited. I'm always excited. I'm fucking lame. I love what we do. I'm always excited for this, but this one I'm very excited for because I get to kind of turn the tables. The dude I'm about to talk with, he has had me on his show tons of times. Absolutely terrific guy. And so now I get to turn things around on him and bring him into mine. So that's fun. We got some people coming in. Let me well damn, I forgot to even set them. I'm setting things up. We're gonna get the chat going. Ba, 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 ba. Here we are. Let's enable that chat. Edit audience. You know how it goes, guys. Cool. What up, Alfie? How you doing, homie? Hope everything's treating you well. Oh, cracking that neck. Yeah, man, really excited for this show. We're mostly going to be talking today about YouTube. And of course, we'll be talking about my guest. But my guest, I have found that they have focused and they have pushed YouTube to a level that so many of our other comic people just have not been able to. So I definitely want to pick his brain and get into that as much as possible. However, whatever you guys want to discuss, feel free to bring it on. Mike's in the house. What's up, homie? Good to see you, buddy. Okay, I think it's time. I think we need to do it.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck. Because I care.
What is going on? Tyler Carpenter's in the house. Buddy, how you doing?
I don't know how I've watched your show. I changed my live shows to Wednesday nights so I could watch your show on Tuesdays. Because last year my show was every Tuesday. And this year I changed it to Wednesdays so I could watch your shows on Tuesday. And I don't know how I've never caught that intro.
And we've been doing that since pretty much day one. Oh, thank you. That's hilarious. Oh, you're the best. Thank you. I didn't know that either about the Tuesdays. I apologize.
Oh, yeah. I have a pretty set schedule when I upload videos and do live shows. And last year it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this year it's Mondays and Wednesdays. And the reason why I did Wednesdays because I was like, okay, on Mondays so-and-so streams. On Tuesdays, Chuck is streaming. On Thursday, so-and-so is streaming. On Friday, so-and-so is streaming. So I see an opening on Wednesday night. That's when I'll stream.
Oh, dude, that's killer. Oh, that's so awesome. It's so funny. I've been on your show, I don't even know how many times. Tons of times over the past, 3 or so years. It's been amazing. And I remember, in fact, doing an interview with you in a car in a parking lot at MegaCon. Because that was the only time we could work it out. And I was like,
I
okay,
remember. I remember that one. That one has what is it? That was one it was called "Do You Need an Editor?" and it was about Tom King firing his editor. And I was like, I gotta get Chuck's perspective on this. And so I remember us recording that while you were in the car, and then Wendy was in the passenger seat. You guys were like, good. We sold so many books today.
Oh, conventions. I miss them so much. You know what, though? Yeah, before we get to all the YouTube stuff, conventions. Are you excited at the fact that things went? No, you're not.
I miss them. I wasn't a big convention goer. I'll go to my local. I get invited to comic book shops all around Utah. They'll be like, "Hey Tyler, come do this," and I'll always go to those. I can never get into the Salt Lake convention though. I can never get into that convention. I can never get an artist alley table set up there. And so I'm like, okay, I guess they don't want me. So I'll go. One year I did. One year when the girl I loved, when she said no to marrying me, I returned the ring, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna do with this $2,000? And I'm like, I'm gonna get a table at Phoenix Con and Las Vegas Comic Con, and I'm just gonna hit the road. And so for 3 months, I was just traveling, hitting up different Comic Cons and having a fun time. So that was fun. I do miss that. But cons are a lot of work.
How? Well, yeah, they are. For me, they're a labor of love. Like
Yeah.
that's one of the spots where I feel like I do really well. So I don't
Mhm.
care how much work it is, but I totally feel you. How is it though that you were able to get into like Vegas and Phoenix Comic Con, but you can't get into the Utah? Like, what the hell is
I
that?
don't know. I don't know.
You
Like
would
I'm not
assume being local that
like
would give you a shot.
like and not only that, like you think you would get me a shot. The table is like $600. And
Ew.
like if I were to get the table, yeah, ew. So I was like, okay, I could try to get into Salt Lake Comic Con, but Vegas is saying that I can pay $100 to get this one, and Phoenix is saying I can spend 150 to go to that one. So I'm just gonna hit the road and do those
Yeah.
shows, and I had a
I
blast
feel
doing
you.
those shows.
Well, let me know next time you do that, and I'll meet you part way.
I'll let you know.
Just so you're aware, for those of you guys who don't know out there, my wife is a huge fan of Tyler. Certainly, I love the guy. He's been really good. Yeah, right. So I asked her, "Do you have any questions?" And says immediately, she just went to town and wrote a bunch of.
Oh,
Holy crap!
that's awesome.
She was very excited. I'm sure she'll do some. And for you guys out there, I'm gonna throw this up if I can find it. Banners, yeah. Feel free to ask any questions. We'll get to as many as we can.
There we
So
go.
hit us up, guys. Glad to do it. But let's first go to your YouTube channel. You've been creating comics for how long now?
Since 2015.
Okay, and you know what? Actually, I apologize. I'm going to take the YouTube thing back. The one thing I always ask every time anybody starts this thing is, oh, look at that. Anytime this starts up, yeah, right.
Thanks, Wendy.
He's
I love Wendy
married.
too.
He's married, Wendy. Jeez. And he's
Chuck's
got
like,
a kid.
I'm married. To you.
I was gonna do this, but I'm not even wearing my ring right now. Crap.
Yeah, neither am I. Well, funny story, real quick. I've been sitting on a really crappy IKEA chair, and I finally was like, my back is killing me. So I bought this really nice leather chair for $20 used. And so I'm walking into the house to go get it from a lady, and I'm like, I recognize this house. I've been here before, but I can't put my finger on it. And she's like, come to the basement. And I'm like, I remember this basement. And I was like, hey, do you have a daughter by chance? And she's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. Is her name Amy? And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, no problem. And then like the daughter like walked in, and she goes, and I go, hi, Amy. And she goes, who are you? And I went, I've been here twice. Wait, whatever. I guess I wasn't memorable. But I bought this chair from your mom.
Wow. Wow. Let's hope that she was on drugs or something, and that's why she forgot you. Obviously, she's not in the comic world, or she would remember you. Back to comics, though.
Yeah, what's the question?
Right. So what I usually like to start out with is, what is your origin story as far as both becoming a comic fan and getting into comics?
I'm about to show you something I've never showed anyone.
Okay. While he goes and grabs that, I'm going to show this. I bet you he didn't know that I'd have this. This is one of his books, Entity, which I have not yet read, but I have it right in front of me, ready to do so. Wendy has read it, and she enjoyed it very, very much, so I plan on doing the same. So, let's see this.
Here.
We have technical difficulties.
I am struggling, dude. This is what happens when I'm a guest on other people's shows. No wonder no one's inviting me. Okay. So this is actually my first foray into comics. I've never shown anyone. I was gonna show people on my show, but I'll just do it here first.
This is big, guys.
This is a 500 page. You know, like when you go buy printer paper, it comes in a ream of 500.
Yeah.
So this is a ream in a little bit. This is a 500 page comic book I made starting at 4th grade, called The Quiet Spy.
Wow.
And
what's up, Ethereal Dragon?
Oh, how you doing, man? Yeah. So
Dude.
each of these is 20 pages. There's like 30 something volumes.
So there is a little bit of a joke for those of you guys who don't know Tyler that well. And the joke always is that so many of us do floppies and whatnot. This guy has never done anything small ever. His books are always big. He does tons, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's what he loves. But when you said I have a 500-page book, I'm like, not even surprised. Not even a little surprised.
To be fair, it is broken up into like tinier
chapters.
issues, tinier chapters. When I was a kid, like I never read a comic book.
Really?
Yeah. So like my parents didn't let me read comic books, and so my friend had this like Shonen Jump magazine thing, and I read some of those. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And he's like, he goes, I make comics, and I was like, what are those? And he showed me how to make comics. I was like, oh man, like this is awesome. And so I made that. Surprisingly, Demons. Demons actually, before we did the graphic novels on Kickstarter, they came out bi-monthly in issue format.
That was through Insane Comics, right?
That was through Insane Comics, and when they folded, I had to make the decision, do I restart and market through issue 1 and have to do like all of that like months of work ahead, even though I'm currently working on the final issue, or do I just kickstart these in volumes? And so that's what I decided to do. But yeah, my origin story is this comic, The Quiet Spy. I just scanned the pages because I one day want to scan all the pages and just like print a version.
That cover actually looks really nice, dude.
Oh yeah, I got it. The Kablam did this. I had to scan all the pages, take the staples out. But I'd love to like just scan a version and get one for myself. But everything was done in pencil and printer paper. But that's my origin story, is The Quiet Spy, and he wasn't even quiet. And when I was reading some of those the other day, and I was like, this is an episode of 24. Every one of these is like an episode of 24. I was very heavily influenced.
At least I like that. No, okay. I don't know what this means. Is this a Drawn Talk joke?
Oh, no. Getting a wrench means that you are on YouTube a mod. So he can like ban comments, put in links and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
You would have to go into YouTube and then like set
that's a lot of work. But so far we don't seem to have that many comments and such, so we should be all right. But I appreciate the offer there, Dragon. And so, okay, this is weird though. You didn't get into comics, and yet my dog, and yet you created them.
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
Dude, my friend gave me, I don't know if you're familiar with a Shonen Jump magazine. Mm-hmm. He just was like, hey, I don't need one. I didn't know they came out weekly. So, like, I thought this was a huge deal that he was, like, giving this to me. And I was like, oh, my gosh, like, this is the greatest gift I've ever been given. I didn't know these stories came out weekly. And so I just read this thing over and over. I read the same stories over and over for a year. Which is funny, now that I'm an adult and I have the Shonen Jump app and I'm reading these things, I'm like, oh, wait, I got to this point. And I never figured out what happened the next week. But that's that. Like, I just saw what they were doing in those books, and I was like, okay, I get it. You have panels, and you just have to keep telling the story going on, and that's what you have to do. And so I figured that out. And then when I was 19, I was torrenting. We'll just say I was torrenting music, and music, good old sexy music. And an ad popped up that said, the Joker has gotten his face ripped off. What's Batman gonna do? And I was like, okay. And I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, Batman comics. Like, I knew these were a thing, but like I never got into it. My parents tried to really take the nerd out of me.
Which it seems they failed at.
I was a closet nerd. Yeah. And so I went to a comic book store, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing I've ever been to. And granted, I'm 19 at this point, going into my first comic book store, and I'm like, where do I start? And the guy's like, I can't help you with that. And I was like, okay, you're a bad salesman. So luckily I grabbed, luckily the New 52 had just started with DC Comics. A lot of people hate the New 52. I love the New 52 only because it reset everything and it brought everything back into a number one issue. So I was like, this is a great jumping on point for me as a new reader. And I just started buying everything. And I was like, you know what? I loved making comics as a kid. I'm gonna make comics. I'm gonna make comics when I get older. But then I went on a mission to South Africa for 2 years for the LDS church, and so that kind of got postponed for 2 years. And then when I came back, I was like, I'm going for it. And I actually wrote Demons while I was in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you write it as a comic, or was that written?
I wrote it as a comic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. I have like this like old like Bible looking thing, and it had a bunch of blank pages, and I sketched out all the pages for Demons as if I was going to draw them. And when I realized I wasn't good at drawing when I got back at the time, so I was like, okay, I need to level up. I sent Travis Martinez the script, and it's kind of cool to see like the pages that he did, and he never had seen like the Bible thing I had made of the script, but there are tons of pages where like they're exactly what he drew, based off my script. So yeah, that's cool.
That's actually a testament to your description as you write things, because I mean, if you're able to get it that close, it means that you probably described your panels really well.
I hope so. It only happened like 3 times where I was like, that's exactly how I drew it.
Yeah, but it almost never happens. So
exactly.
To happen 3 times in one comic, it's huge.
I know. Yeah, but that's my origin story. As I got into this at 4th grade, and then I stopped because it was kind of uncool. So I got into music, and like I wanted to be in a band at that point. At 19, I'm super depressed. And I'm like, I feel like I've got nothing going on for me. I pick up a comic book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. And it just like caught a hold of me from then on, and I've been making comics since.
I love that, and it really does speak to who you are, and it basically, like, I mean, it's funny. I find with a lot of people, those origin stories are so much bigger than we end up thinking about until we actually say them aloud. Then we're like, oh crap! Someone's looking for his book.
Where is my book? Yeah, exactly. I couldn't pull off those vocals if I wasn't in that band.
By the way, for those of you guys who don't know, go check out Drawn Talk. Check out his book, his song "Where Is My Book," which is absolutely hilarious. Wendy actually put up a really good question here. Have you written any prose?
Yeah. So I've always wanted to be a storyteller. And I've always been able to draw. And so in 3rd and 4th grade, my friends were like writers, and they wrote. Like we would come and meet up at recess, and they'd be like, I printed these off on my mom's printer, and this is my story. And like they were writers. And I was like, yeah, I've got stories too. And I would verbally tell mine, and they're just like, no, you got to write it. And I was like, okay. And so I tried writing all these stories, and I could never do it. 'Cause I was like, I can just draw this out. Why am I like, the mansion was all white and the walls are all white. I'm like, frick, I can just draw that in 2 seconds. So when I got into comics, I was like, oh, like this is the way for me. Now, last year I did try to write a novel. And it got to the like chapter 3. I'm like, I'm sick of describing this crap. I'm bored.
I remember when we started doing Essence House, you fired me a message, and you're like, "Are you serious, man? I was literally talking about doing this, and there you go." And I was like, I actually got that a fair amount from people, just like, "Dude, we were gonna do that," and I'm like, "Why didn't you pull the trigger? Like, why was it me?" Like, I don't even get that.
And the only reason why I really want to do is I work for a book publisher. I'm surrounded by novels and whatnot every single day, and I see some of their royalty checks. I'm like, oh, the crappy book. I could have done that. And then which is actually really arrogant, because when I sat down to actually do it, I was like, yeah, this is freaking hard.
The description, and I agree with you. I hate doing the descriptions. Wendy and I work so well together as writers because she loves the descriptions. Oh. So often I'll just set up the scenes and the stories and everything, and she'll come by and she'll just flower all over it. And
dude, if you look at my script for Chefs, you'd be appalled because there's no descriptions. It's just like, it says like panel 1, and it just has all the dialogue. and that's all it is. 'Cause I'm like describing, they're at a cityscape. I'm like, I'm the one drawing it.
Yeah.
I don't need to describe this.
See, I've had to do that with clients before where I'm like, no, you have to describe this. But that's because it's a writer to an artist.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like that's not fair. But yeah, for you who does you do it all, right? Like don't you even you letter and everything?
I do it. I do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
So yeah,
why would I waste
because
my
of
time?
that makes perfect sense. You're you know, I wouldn't want to check that out though.
No.
I've seen some, the worst offenders I would say is the ones who I've seen some where it's like uh, insert sound effects. I'm like, give the guy tell the guy what fucking sound effect
Yeah,
to use, please.
exactly. Like,
Give him some.
yeah,
Right?
I always put in my scripts whenever I work with an artist. I'm like, hey, if you got a better way to do it, do it. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw this. Now there's a couple times where you're like, it has to look like this. And if you don't do it like this, I will make you redraw it.
Yeah.
So make it look like this. But most of the time I'm like, just make it good.
And if you make it any different, it better be better.
I
I better look and go, okay, yeah,
exactly.
I'm impressed.
Luckily, I've never had to work with an artist where I was like, you totally missed it. I've always worked with every artist I've worked for. Maybe I'm just too easy to please, but I was like, that was cool. That was awesome.
So, moving away from comics and finally towards the YouTube channel, this is actually Wendy's first question. It's a very good one to start with. What made you want to create a YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I see a lot of people creating YouTube channels right now. I feel like I did it before everyone else was really like starting to do it. My big thing was when I was making comics, there wasn't a lot of resources. I felt like there was like Jim Zub's website and there was some other stuff, but I was like, gosh, like I have no idea what I'm doing. And so at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna be the guy that knows everything. And 10 videos in, I realized I'm not the guy who knows everything. I actually know very little. I might have made a lot of comics, but I actually don't know a lot. And at the time, my show was called Fictional Reality, which don't ask me why it was called that. I don't know why. And so I was like, okay, I need to bring on guests because I don't know these things, but I want my channel to still be like the hub for creators. So I changed it to Draw and Talk. And the idea was going to be to have like my art being played while two creators have a conversation, and we'd hit on various topics. And then I learned about Google Hangouts, and then started able to do like video stuff, and that's when the drawing started to lack. What up, Nicholas? Demon Hunter Raven on Kickstarter right now.
That's right. Yeah, Nick, drop that. Drop your link in the Kickstarter.
Go get the deluxe edition.
There you go.
That book is so good that I'm rebuying it so I can get the collected edition. That book is that good that I want the collected edition.
So we haven't read it yet. So, which is the only reason why I haven't officially jumped on the Kickstarter yet. We want to read ours so that then we can go know what are we grabbing, because
if anything, the benefit of just getting it is that chapter 1 of Demon Hunter Raven is all black and white, and he colored all the pages of chapter 1.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, and they look great.
Okay, that's really neat.
You're welcome. You're sponsored by Demon Hunter Raven. But yeah, that's why I did the YouTube channel. That's why I did the YouTube channel, is I wanted it to be a hub for creators to be like, I have a question, and I could be like, well, I have an answer.
So you currently have, it's like 4,500 or
Just 4,
something like that,
like
subs.
4,100 subs.
40. Okay, so 4,100 subs. But I've been around for so long that I remember when you were pushing for your first 500.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, I gotta hit 500. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. Whatever. Shared it around and stuff. So to see you all the way up with like, dude, I'm not even at 500. I'm not even at 200.
It's hard. It's definitely hard.
Oh,
I see a lot of creators have a hard time breaking the 500 and then breaking that 1,000.
So what would you say was your secret for making those breaks?
Yeah. So I'll be honest. I'll be brutally honest. Can I be brutally honest?
Dude, this is raw, baby.
This is raw. Okay, so I'll be on. All right. So first thing is I do have it. Most creators, YouTube is a search algorithm. People find it as a place of entertainment, which it is, but it's the second largest search search engine. That's why Google bought it up, so that they own the competition. So right now, if you were to on YouTube go how to write a comic book script, whose face comes up first? Mine. I own that question. If you go how to write a comic book, I'm number one, which sucks because that video is terrible. And it's full of so much misinformation. It's not full of misinformation. It's just like not. If someone were to ask me today how to make a comic book, I'd give them a completely different answer.
Yeah.
But that was the very first video that I made, and so that's the one that video has 63,000 views right now. I get paid $100 a month through YouTube just because of that video every month.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're not even so, because I was going to ask you, well, why don't you just delete it? But that's why you don't delete it.
Yeah, gosh, my wife was like, "Hey, we're $100." She's like, "Hey, we're $100 short of this bill," and I went, "Yeah, don't worry, YouTube's paying me tomorrow. Don't worry." So that video, yeah, I've thought, man, gosh, do I delete that video? And I can't. It's killing it. So here's a thing that I do that other creators don't do. I don't do a lot of live shows. I do maybe one live show a week, maybe. And then if I do them, I normally delete them immediately. I delete them within 24 hours. Yeah. So most of my videos are all short. They're all within 5 to 12 minutes. And they have really good titles that people can search. Some of them are trendy. Some of them are just like questions that they want. Like I said, how to write a comic book script. That's something that someone's going to put in that search bar.
Yeah.
My second best video is printing comics at home. And then I put in the tags, and then in the descriptions, like how to print a comic book. And that one has 24,000 views. It was at 10,000 last month.
Wow.
Next, fourth best video. What kind of paper to use to make a comic book? How to get art for my comic book. What do you need to make money with your comics? So I have these titles that make people go, oh, that answers the question that I have.
Even though it may not.
Yeah, that one, I did that print one mostly just to review someone's printing of a comic book. I didn't even talk about what the guy used. And all comments like, well, what printer did he use? And I'm like, I don't know. We printed it from home. Yeah.
Tom Hutchinson's in the house. What's up, buddy? We're mostly talking YouTube, but we're talking everything Tyler Carpenter. So if you have questions, please bring it on. Wendy's saying if you figure it out, let me know. I think that has to do with how to build up the channels. John Ruschetti, and actually I was thinking this too, so good question, homie. Why not revisit the video and do a part 2?
There is a part 2. I got 22,000 views, and that was the second video I made. so I tried to make one again last year, and it has a couple hundred, it has almost 1,000 views. But I mean, that one just like, I don't know, it was probably just right time. It was just the right timing of putting that one out. Also, when you do a YouTube video, there's so many things that people don't do. And then they go, why is this not working? You guys ready for this? Good title. Good description. Because when they search the stuff, they don't just pull from the title, they pull from what you wrote in the description. Good tags. And then, most importantly, a good clickable thumbnail. So I spend probably an hour or two on all of my thumbnails.
Wow.
Because I'll go through several versions. Okay, how am I going to get someone to click on this video? Because people aren't clicking because of the information. They're clicking because the title's good and the thumbnail's good. So I'll spend an hour or so just on my thumbnail. And if it's not doing good, I might make a new thumbnail and change it to see if that one will get traction.
Wow.
But yeah. But live shows will kill your channel. Shows will kill your channel because of the analytics. So, YouTube promotes your video based off how long did someone watch it. Well, if your video's 5 minutes and they watched all 5 minutes, YouTube goes, wow, like they watched all 5 minutes. Let's promote this video. If you do an hour live stream or a 2-hour live stream or a 4-hour live stream, like some people do, and the person watched like 20 minutes of it, well, that's a terrible percentage. And so YouTube goes, no one's watching this. And so then they don't promote the video. Then they don't promote their video and they don't promote your channel.
Wow. That makes perfect sense, actually. I mean, honestly, I'm sure I've said this before, and I'm sure you've heard it before, but for me, the YouTube it's not my reason. Like I'm doing this just to show people off, and so people can learn via these live shows and stuff. But I've never had the intentions to try to become an influencer or a personality or anything like that. So I get it. I know that I'm doing it wrong. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. Like I understand what that means. Just because obviously I'm sure you could look all over my channel and go, that's wrong. And most of it is just like, yeah.
But at least you know it. Like when I hear creators going, oh, my channel's not growing, and I go, well, this is the reason why, and then they don't do it. At that point I go, well, like at that point, like it's like it's on you, because I mean the rules of how to win the YouTube algorithm. And here's the thing, I'm not winning the YouTube algorithm because it's one, comic books are so niche that like that stuff, like I think it's crazy that I have 63,000 views on that video, but also like it's also the audience you want. And so right now I'm actually changing what I want my audience to look like on YouTube. So at the beginning, for the last year and a half, my channel's been all about the audience of the creator. The creator can come to my channel and look at my stuff. And what I realize is, okay, well, I have all these creators watching my show, which is cool. Creators, we don't really have money because they're not gonna, creators are like, they want to use their money to spend on their own creation. So now I'm all about, okay, I got to make content that the reader or someone just interested will like. I mean, for example, I have a second channel that I don't do anything with that I might start doing with this year, but it's called My Life as Tyler. And all it is a channel. I have 35 subscribers on it, and all it is a channel where I like watch trending YouTube videos and I just roast them. I go, oh, look at that couple breaking. Oh, look at that couple breaking up, freaking idiots. And those videos have gotten me more views than my Draw and Talk videos.
Really?
And I have 35 subs on that channel because they're trendy, and it's what other people are watching. People aren't watching comic book content. Yeah. When does Silly Goose get here?
Looking for the Silly Goose.
Dude, the shades are on, so the Silly Goose time is happening.
I'm trying to educate, but certainly we can have some SGT as well. I have no issue with that. Rebel came in and said, I don't understand why people watch on Facebook when we're all trying to build up YouTube channels. I mean, honestly, and this is just my answer. Personally, I think it's just ease and selfishness. You know what I mean? Like they're not thinking about it on that level, and they're just like, oh, it's here, so I'm going to watch it here. What do you think?
I don't post videos on Facebook.
So you wouldn't know.
I mean, I have done. I guess for me, I'm trying to get everyone into one hub, and that hub is YouTube. So so I'm like, if you're gonna watch me, I want you to watch it on YouTube. But I mean, like you said, if you're just trying to reach the most people to watch, like I don't think it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to do like stream it on everything. But if you have a strategy of I want everyone to focus on one spot, then yeah, you should just focus on one spot.
Rebel had said, dude, we're getting so many comments, it's ridiculous. So your YouTube love has filtered over here, so I'm going to try to keep up with this as much as possible. I put it in my I have a private Discord, and so I told everyone to flock over here. Well, no one watches a live show after it's live. I mean, definitely not an awful lot. Like I do get some views, but you're right. It's not an awful lot. I just leave it up there, and actually, I get a fair amount of people now. But again, a fair amount is not the thousands you're necessarily looking for. But I do get a fair amount of people who are like, I really want to watch it afterwards. I'm like, yeah, I'll keep it up because I don't give a shit. But I understand why you would get rid of it.
And it depends also just like on that live show. I'm just trying to pull up some stats real quick. For example, like my live show that I did last night, we ended at around 100 views after we did the show last night. And then as of right now, we're at 219 views. So 119 more people came in to watch that live show. Same thing. So like they do like, and I'll keep some, if I'm talking with the creator and we go over an hour and 10 minutes, I go, okay, it looks like I'm deleting this one.
Yeah, this one's good.
This is going a little too long. I think my best live show was the one I did with Terrence. Thank you. Yeah, that's my most viewed live show, and I made so much money that day. Thank you.
Did you make a lot of money off of that?
Dude, I got a $300 YouTube check just because of that video.
Dude, I feel like next time I'm in Utah, you owe me a beer for that one.
I'll take you out.
Okay.
I'll take you.
You buy the first one. I'll buy the second one for sure.
I'll take you guys all out.
So Chris is saying shorter's better, but that seems obvious now from what you said.
Yeah,
as far
shorter.
as the videos are concerned.
I would like to get my videos down to 5 minutes, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just can't. My goal is to get my videos to 5 minutes. Lately, they've been like 10.
That's true. I am having a silly goose time, regardless. I said it. I said it. Wendy came on and said, for videos at least, yes. David Fott's in the house. What's going on, David? Good to see you, buddy. Great artist.
Gosh, he looks like he's part of the Pawn Stars family. He
does, doesn't he? I was like, there's something about that picture. Good job.
Can I get a $100 commission from you? Best I can do is $1,000.
And Steph's in the house.
Steph Wilson.
Yeah, he's in there. He's having a good old time. Rebel also says you got to make fun content that appeals to the average fan that knows nothing about the inner workings because the average person doesn't care. I think that's again, it's not what I do at all, but I think it's a fair statement. Like I don't feel even a little bit attacked on that because again, that's not what I'm trying to do, but that is very much what you do, and that shows the difference between our channels.
And I'm trying to focus out of that. Now I will say like there's two differences. There's two types of videos that you could do that show the inner workings. There's like the really like how to, like first you're gonna make a script. It's gonna say panel 1 this, and then it's gonna show the description dialogue. That's a pretty that's really centered for the creator. If you want to show but a lot of people do like the inner workings of stuff. If as long as you just don't give them like the crazy details, which is why a lot of people like drawing channels because they can see the art being made, and as long as you're talking about like a fun topic that they like, they still want to see the drawing. There's a ton of really popular art channels that they do studio vlogs, and they get like hundreds of thousands of views. I don't get it because I've watched some of them. They go, today I'm getting coffee, and like he shows them getting coffee, and you're like, okay, like you kind of get it. Like this is the life of this person and they're a full-time artist. And now I go to my desk and they go, oh, it's a nice desk. And then they go, and then it goes, now we're going to draw. I'm going to talk to you. And it shows them just drawing. But people like that. People do like that kind of stuff. A lot.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get this. I'm gonna see if I can get this whole question on here. Yeah, okay. You can't see me. I want to start a YouTube channel. This is John again, and I know I have the experience, 17 years in animation, but starting and committing to the idea of a schedule seems to be the hardest part. How hard is the schedule plus keeping up with your own artwork?
It's a great question. A lot of people ask me that, actually, even the people I work with. They're like, Tyler, how do you have a full-time job and you come home and you have a family, and then where do you make time? So this is how I do it. It would be really cool if I could wake up early, but I can't currently. I have a channel that is just me crying.
It is.
That's what my Patreon is. Ask Wendy. I'm dead ass. That the Patreon exclusive show I have is called The Broken Creator, and I just go, guys, it's just so hard. So I guess what I have to do, what I do is I go to work, I come home, I play with my family for I hang out with my family for 2 hours. My kid goes to bed at 7. After that, my wife and I decide, okay, we hanging out tonight. Do you have a project that you're gonna do? Am I busy? Like, tonight she's downstairs doing her own thing, and I'm up here. And so I'll draw. I'll either draw. I'll like either know like today's a drawing night. We're drawing tonight. What is up? Total excellence. Yeah. It's either a drawing night, or I'm gonna do a live show. I normally can't do both. So like tonight, I'm not gonna be doing any drawing because today's a live show. And then afterward, and then I try my videos done on Saturday or Sunday. I will pre-record. I will try to record a video on Saturday, and then edit it on Sunday, and then after that, I make the thumbnail and I upload it, and it goes out on Monday, and then on Wednesdays we have a live show. That's really it. Like, it's just finding the time. I also draw on my lunch breaks. There's a gas station that's next to my work, and there's an abandoned Subway that's attached to it. And I was like, hey, if I buy an 89-cent drink every time I come here, can I draw on the abandoned Subway? And they're like, yeah, we don't care. So I'll go draw there. And it's empty. I'm by myself. I draw lunch breaks. My coworker's like, Tyler, you're no fun anymore. I'm like, yeah, I gotta freaking get this book done.
Right. How would the publishing company not understand that you're trying to publish stuff? Like, hello.
I know, right?
Jeez. You're being told you need a Silly Goose t-shirt.
Don't worry, man. We're working on some merch.
I bet.
Don't worry. We got some merch coming.
Steph wants me to have a co-host. Yeah, see, the difference between you and I, Steph, is you need a sexy woman to get people to watch your show.
Ooh,
I'm kidding. No, I'm fucking. I love him so much, but his Carrie is on there all the time, and she's absolutely amazing. But he's a big shit talker, so he needed it back.
Steph, you walk into Denny's and Chuck gives you the grand slam. You owe him $9.99. Right. That'd be $9.99, Steph.
Cernova, I'm trying to make our videos less time because of the audience retention. Our Cernova podcast usually range from an hour to 3 hours. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's why when I did the Chuck's Raw reviews, which I still do, whatever. I keep them down to 10 minutes. And if it's a really big one, or like with the big show, we would end up having like 20 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I did not feel attacked at all. I was just kidding, homie. I did not feel that way. I was just joking. And really, my channel, it's not made to do what he does. So yeah, no, I definitely don't feel attacked. But thank you for that. I appreciate that, homie. Jay Espen says, "Hey guys." Rebel's another one who has a big channel. He does lots of live stuff and has tons of videos and stuff, video game stuff. My channel as well will also go through some changes. The thing is this: yes, you can do it for fun, but I ask, how much more fun would it be if it gave you extra money? Yeah, you're right. For me, I'm not as worried about the money because, again, I guess in my head, I just don't think that I can make the big money. So really, it's more about, for me, wanting to educate people, wanting to bring on people who can help me help educate, and also being able to level myself up, network. All of this is just to kind of make things better for the career that I want to be a part of, rather than turning that career into being a YouTube personality.
A big thing also is YouTube and like the comics one, unless you're doing like all the drama ones, like all the drama like videos where you're like, can you believe so-and-so said this, and you're getting thousands of views just because you're getting that, I call it anger or hate money. you can make a lot of money. Like I know a lot of channels, a lot of people who their living is doing YouTube, but all they do is they're getting angry every single day. Like how can I get angry today and get everyone else angry? My channel at this point, when you make a comic, people say the hardest part of some people say the hardest part of making a comic is making the comic. And for me, the hardest part about making the comic is getting people to see the comic. And so the thing with my channel is I went, okay, how do I have all these comics. What do I need to do? And the thing that I need to do at this point is I don't care about the money. The thing I need to do is I need to get as many eyes as possible on my comics. So right now, YouTube is a really good place for me to get eyes on my books. And that's also why I'm going on to Webtoons, is because there's 15 million people who log into that website every single day to read comics. You know, maybe I can get some eyes on my comic there through Webtoons. I mean, heck, I haven't uploaded a single episode. The only thing I've published on my chef's Webtoon is the cover, and it says coming soon, and I made it in their top 30 books of the week in the superhero genre. Like,
does that say a lot about the superhero genre? Like, that worries me. Like, how many subs do you have, if you don't mind?
It's the weakest. It's definitely the weakest of the genres. No. All it is the team sees. So I've uploaded one episode and I gained, like, I'm almost at around 50 subscribers, and so in like 2 days, and so they go, and so whenever on Webtoon they have an algorithm, so if they see, oh, this comic is getting some traction, they will promote your comic to these 15 million readers. They will send out emails. They will put it on the homepage saying, like, you've got to read this book. You've got to read this book. It's looking fun. And so for me, I'm like, that's a reason why I'm doing Webtoons right now. It's a reason why I'm doing YouTube is right now I have all these comics. Like, making a comic for me at this point, it's the easy part. How do I get eyes? As many eyes on my books as possible, and that's what YouTube and Webtoons is for at this point.
Okay. Do you worry about, now I know that people have made some big money on Webtoons. I do know that. But do you worry that it's No, I am aware. I guys like Walter Osley and whatnot have done very well. Yeah. Angela Audling, like, I've talked to several people.
But most people don't. But most people don't make any money on there.
Yeah, well, but do you think that's just because they're not doing it right?
No.
Okay.
Well, here's my thing. My thing is that the Webtoon is kind of it's the hub to get people invested in the work. So they'll read the work for free, and then they'll give you their money in another way outside of the comic. It might be through Ko-fi. It might be, oh, you know what? I love your comic. I'm going to give you $1 a month on your Patreon. I'm going to subscribe to your YouTube channel. I'm going to give you a super chat. Oh, you have a t-shirt? I love your work. I love your character. I'm going to buy that t-shirt. And then maybe one day they'll buy the print book. Maybe they won't, but if they do it, if they like your work enough, they will spend their money on other things, even if it's not the book. I mean, I know a lot of creators who they don't have a lot of subs on Webtoons, but they have very sustainable Patreons. Very sustainable Patreons.
Is that something that I know that you already have a Patreon? Is that something that you're hoping will happen with you? Is that it will help to move people to your Patreon?
See. And yeah, we'll see. I'd love to do one. I'd love to do a Patreon just only comic. And my friend Brian Ball does it through Rags. It's just a Patreon exclusive comic, and then you can get it on his other online stores, but you get the really good stuff on their Patreon. I mean, yeah, I used to have like a $10 tier, a $5 tier, and a $1 tier, and I canceled the $5 tier, and I was like, it's just $1 at this point. And then I have an exclusive show where I cry on there. If you guys want to see that, it's all in black and white. But yeah, that's
do you still have the $10, or is it just
I can put out? The hope is I can put out chefs. It's just $1. If you want to up your pledge and do like $5 a month, that's fine. But right now, really the option is just $1 standard. Which is funny because I deleted the $5 pledge. I messaged everyone saying, hey guys, like I don't feel like I'm giving $5 worth a month of content to you guys. I don't want to feel like I'm stealing your money. And a lot of people messaged me back saying, oh, we didn't even remember, we forgot that we had subscribed to you. So thanks for letting us know we're canceling completely. And I was like, okay. So I lost a lot of people.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I mean it's fine. It's fine. I laughed, but right now so Patreon right now isn't a super focus, but it is something where like at the end of the comic there'll be a little icon that says, "Hey, if you want to support the book on Patreon, you can."
And Jeff Weber came in. He said the 2000s model of webcomics was to make all your money on T-shirt sales.
Yeah.
Zumi said, I tried Webtoons, but I didn't format the book to scrolling, and I only have like 13 subs. Zumi, I'm not the expert here, but I would say make something that that's formatted to that style, and you might see that change.
For sure.
See, 46? Now that's way better. That's almost as many as Tyler here has. So
we take our pity away from you now.
Yeah. I feel no pity. 46. that's way more than I have, Zumi. All right, Wendy has way more questions here.
I'm ready.
What's your favorite part of the creative process?
Ooh, the lazy part.
But let's do this in two ways.
Yeah.
The creative response, or your what's the favorite part of the creative process in both making a video and making comics?
Okay. My favorite part of, let's go with the video. My favorite part with the video is the editing process. It's funny because my videos right now are pretty simple. I get in front of a camera, I say my spiel, and then like I don't really do much editing after that because I found that if I edit, I've put up videos where I've done so much editing work, and I'm like, gosh, this is a freaking masterpiece. And then it gets like 100 views, and I go, fuck, like, are you kidding me?
That was not worth it.
Exactly. And then like I'll just do a video with my face, go, hey guys, can you believe so and so said this? And it gets like 1,000 views, and I'm like, gosh, like that took like 5 minutes to do. But I really enjoy the editing process because that's where you can really you can do some really fun stuff that you can't do on just these talking things. Like you can really make something really fun if you really edit it well. And then I guess in terms of the comic book process, because making comics sucks. It's so long. It takes so long to do everything. I like the part where I come up with the idea and I get on a Google Doc and I write out the entire story. I write out the entire story from beginning, middle to end. I did one of those a couple nights ago. I got to the last sentence and I was like, it's a romance. It's a romance story. And I was like, yep, I did a good one. And then I was like thinking like, okay, I don't want to draw this. This is going to take forever. So that's
find a collaborator.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Chuck. I've paid so many artists. So it was really easy for me to pay these artists, the artist who did Demons and Entity at the time, because I was also I really wanted to get my stories out, but I didn't feel like my art was the art for those stories. But my art was there for someone else's story. So if this creator gives me $500 to draw their story, I then give that $500 over to that artist. So like when people go, how did you fund 14 issues of Demons? I go, it's because I did 14 issues of someone else's comic. Yeah, those are my favorite creative parts.
So Mason said, in my old webtoons done in traditional comic style, my readers said they couldn't read the text.
Yeah, you got to do the scrolling stuff. You have to do the scrolling stuff.
I wouldn't know anything about that, but that makes sense.
Yeah. I love Wendy's questions. I will always answer a Wendy question.
Dude, she has so many good ones. What's your day job? I know.
Yeah, I do marketing for a book publishing company.
So here's a fun question. How's the new house?
It's great, man.
That's a Wendy question.
It's great. It was we bought it in December. Found out that the people who own this place sold drugs, had been arrested several times. We found a bunch of needles and blood everywhere, and there's a bullet somewhere in my basement. I can't find it. Everyone in the neighborhood installed cameras because of the people who lived here. I slept with my gun on my chest for the first 2 weeks. Not loaded. The clip was on the floor. On day one of getting the keys, we had to rip out the carpets. We ripped out the flooring. We repainted the whole place in 3 days. We put in new carpeting and new flooring within a week. My wife is downstairs painting our kitchen. But yeah, the house is great. Sunk in so much money in it already.
Wow.
Love the house though. I love, she gave me this space. My wife was like, you can have this space. I mean, I'm like, I've got this desk. I can stream right here. I can draw right here. I can draw over there. I've got a couch over there. I have a TV right there where I can play video games. I'm set.
Wow. That's, dude, okay, so as a guy who has never shot a gun, never owned a gun, the idea that you're laying with one on your chest scares the fuck out of me. Like, now, I'm surrounded by swords and knives, so I'm always ready, but that's still fucked up.
The only thing I got in here is I've got a throwing axe, so like I'll just be like, get the person behind me. And no, I've had several. When I was in South Africa, I had several guns to my head. It's just people like this, wow. And just like give me your wallet. I'm like, yes, you can literally have anything you want within reason. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'd be walking one day, and all of a sudden I'm just like, I just feel someone grab me by the throat, and there's like a knife, and I'm just like, my crap. And it got to a point where I got so apathetic. I was like, this is such an inconvenience to my day.
And that makes that sucks, dude. That's so messed up that you got there. Holy crap! What an experience. And Rebel, that makes sense to me. Does that logic follow you as well, Tyler? The reason it has to be done in panels is because the screens.
Yeah, it's because people read it on their phones. Webtoons, they read it on their phones. I don't know if you've ever seen a webtoon, Chuck.
I have. I read, but I like a fucking old man. I read mine on my computer because when I interviewed Angela Odling, I read all of Detached because I'd been wanting to do that anyways.
Okay, so yeah, like for those of you who don't know, like here's my phone, and you just scroll. Like, and that's how you get the story. And it's kind of cool because then as you're scrolling, if it's a horror, I mean, you might have like a bunch of black area. And so you're like, it's building tension. So you're like, and you have to keep scrolling, and you might get and you keep scrolling, and it's getting bigger and bigger. So it's a really cool experience. It's a really cool experience on some of these webtoons if they do it right.
Sam, he did mention this earlier, but really it's just about plotting out his day, and he opens up, he breaks into old abandoned restaurants and works in there.
Yeah, I have a weekly calendar that I've created for myself, and it basically says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What do I have to get done? And like if I don't get these things done, then I'm in trouble. So I try to really be vigilant. Yeah. On my schedule.
Next Wendy question: how did you create awareness for your channel? Was it just through social media, or was there something else?
Yeah. The usual spam in the Facebook groups. I did that at first, and then also, I'd get guests on, and hopefully they would bring some people over. Every time you bring on a guest, I would see some growth. And now at this point, because I don't do a lot of live streams, so I don't bring on a lot of guests, at this point, it's through my top 5 videos. That one that has 63,000 views, it had 50,000 views last month. And so 13,000 more people saw that video, and some people will sub. So I get around 100 subs a month, just from posting every week.
I get so few subs that I still get emails when I get a new sub, and I'm like, oh, cool. I have you. Yeah, right. See, I knew you'd enjoy that.
Someone said that was good.
Like, oh, this guy subbed, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. That's so cool. I feel great.
I know you. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's always that's so such funny. A great feeling. I like those emails. I almost don't want to do what you do because I like getting the email where I'm like, you have a new subscriber, and I'm like, oh, look at me. Well, way to go, Chuck.
Oh my god.
I know. I knew you would like that.
That's hilarious.
Just as I'm so slow, even just coloring, I can barely do a page a week. I think I'm just doing short stories from here on out. I guess at that point, what you would really need to do is get most of the story done and then upload it a page at a time or panel at a time, however you do it. Jack says, Tyler, do you have any questions for Chuck? He's asked me tons of questions.
Oh man.
Jay Faberes comes on and says, reformation for webtoons is a fun challenge. I'm liking it. Or reformatting.
Yeah, it's what I'm doing now with chefs. For if I do another book after chefs or at the same time as chefs, I'm definitely gonna really think more conscientiously about the webtoon format, because like doing a lot of my panels are wide and are wide shots, so it's like crap. You can't do that on a webtoon. You can't show a wide shot on a webtoon. So as I'm like formatting, I'm like, gosh, it took me an hour to draw this skyline, and now they're only gonna get a part of it. Yeah.
That would be the most frustrating thing to me personally. It would be probably the key when I found out that was something that I had to do. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna keep making books. Like I'll be the grandpa. I don't give a shit.
Well, like here's the thing. Like the cool thing about webtoons is you want people reading your books, and also I think what's cool is you get their reaction each week. So I had this crime book called The Hardline, and each week people would be like, oh my, it was kind of like a mystery detective. I remember I uploaded an episode where we kind of revealed one of the big things, and everyone in the comments was like, oh shit, like it was that guy. And reading those comments, I was like, this is the best.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And then everyone stopped reading after that point, because then we don't have to get into that, but yeah, then after that everyone stopped reading it because I made a bad decision.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I took a storytelling risk, and no one liked it. And I've learned.
Well, next time, talk to an editor. I'm just throwing it out there. Any special plans when you hit 5K subs?
Nothing.
No, really?
No.
Are you done with that? Like, are you?
I'll do if I. Yeah, I don't know. I remember I did that 200. I remember I did that 200. I remember I did a challenge where I paid like $300 out of my own pocket to some creators. Which one of those comics is being submitted to Alterna right now for a short story contest.
Wow.
So the creator's always like, thank you so much, Tyler, for giving me $200. I'm like, you're welcome. No, probably not. If I get maybe if I get 10,000, but at the rate I'm going, I get around 1,000 subscribers every 8 months. So I'm probably shooting for that 10K. I'll tell you what's going to be more interesting is I'm gonna try to upload to my other channel, and I bet you that it'll get more views and more subs quicker than my Draw and Talk channel has, because I'm roasting like I don't know, Katy Perry.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I love Wendy questions. Wendy questions. I thought chat doesn't have questions, but Wendy's got some good questions.
Wendy she's a big fan, man. She has them all set up. Jay came in. Our comic is a supernatural mystery web comic, and I love reading the reactions and theories.
Exactly.
I still have that one bookmarked. I haven't read it yet, Jay, but I remember you and I met in a lettering symposium or symposium, and I still have to check that out. So actually, if you could do us a favor, put the website up there. Tell people about it. I have no issue with that. Go ahead. For any of you guys right now doing Kickstarters or anything, feel free to throw them in here. Tell us about what you're doing. We're more than happy. I won't share it in the chat, but anybody who's watching the chat, they'll be able to see your stuff. Jeff said getting instant feedback is a good pro for webtoons, and I do agree with that. That's such a hard thing to get from conventional comics. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Feedback reviews I get are so few and far between. It's always super exciting when they can. Yeah. I would imagine. And again, conventional comics, that just is not really a thing. So
no, it's not,
dude. Do you find that having a successful YouTube channel helps you find new fans for your stories?
Yes. I wouldn't say my channel's successful. It is. The one thing is I do have a lot more subs than a lot of my peers. Um, so that I guess that's why a lot of people will say it's successful. But yeah, it does bring in. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I have to say the opposite. It brings in both. It brings in both, which is why I'm tailoring kind of like my audience a little bit this year. Because the people who subscribe to my channel, they're mostly creators, or they're trying to learn how to make a comic book, and so hopefully I can get them to, because people who make comic books also like reading comic books.
Mhm.
But I'm also trying to find, but right now I'm trying to find the people who just like reading comic books, because that's where it's really at.
Well, they have more disposable income because the rest of us are spending it on fucking art.
I'd buy your $100. I'd buy your $50 book, but I could pay an inker for one page. So
Right.
yeah,
It's so
exactly.
true, man.
Exactly.
You know how many
That's how
pages?
we. Yeah, you know how many pages I could get with $100? You out of your damn mind?
There's
I'm
no
with you.
way.
I'm with
Oh,
you.
dude. I had somebody was like, oh, $200, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, $200, you can hire me as a fucking editor, all right? So, no, man, like,
You're really an indie comic creator when you start thinking that way. You go, $200? I could get a variant cover for that. Are you kidding me?
yeah, oh, dude, yeah. And a good one, too.
And a good one too.
Who is the most famous person you've interviewed?
Brian Edward Hill.
I don't know him.
Oh, shame, man. Who else? I've done Brian Edward Hill. He had a stint on Detective Comics. Um, he's done work for Vertigo. He did Batman and the Outsiders. I don't know what he's doing right now.
How do you find your
He
guests?
he's one of the writers for Titans at
Oh,
DC. Um, so yeah, I had him on at like the very beginning. He was like one of my like first like guest. He was like one of my first guests um on the show.
wow.
Yeah.
How do you get guests? Like, how do you find these people?
He literally was like looking to talk. It was weird. I was on Twitter one night and he was like looking to talk to some people and I was like, me. And he went, "Okay." And that was it. That was it. It was so weird. It was so random. And I remember just being like,
Oh, that's
going to
right.
my wife, like, "Ren!" I had Heather Antos.
That's right. And
Um,
that was before she got big, right? Like, wasn't that even like pre-Marvel or?
no, it was after Marvel. She'd actually just finished Marvel and she had just gotten
Okay.
hired for Valiant, I think. Yeah, I had Heather Antos. I've had Matt something. He's done Punisher, X-Men, Hawkeye Freefall.
Oh,
Um,
Matt Fraction?
no, not Matt Fraction. That'd be sick if I had
I'm
Matt
like, what the
Fraction.
fuck?
It was the lesser of the Matts and the lesser of the Hawkeye runs. um, which hey, he said that he said the joke. But yeah, he was cool. I have been kind of blacklisted from some celebrity guests because I had a run in with one creator and she was a poo poo to me, and then I made as her because she was poo poo to me, and then I kind of lost some standing with some popular guests. So it's whatever. It's whatever. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's
Do you,
yeah.
so instead of putting you on the spotlight and or on the fire, so to speak,
You
instead of
can.
doing that, I know I can. But whenever I do that, then immediately people are gonna be like, Chuck just wants to hear his own name, and that's not what I want. So what I am gonna ask you is, what are the favored, like, what qualities do you look for in a good guest?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, currently my show is invite only. Um, so
Same here.
that's yeah, yeah. So that right now has actually been a pretty big bummer, not to me, but a lot of creators who I get messages still every single day, and I'm like, oh, sorry, it's like
Yeah.
invite only. Um, I guess if you are a creator and you are going on a show, two things. One, if you're there to promote your book, show some freaking passion. Was I had a couple guests on and I was like, promote your book, and like I was so bored hearing about their book just because they weren't showing the energy, and I was like, gosh, like, do you even like your book? Do you even like the thing you've made? Are you even excited? So get that, and then also, another thing is learn the cues of the host. So like, I don't know, like like don't keep rambling, like go one way, like I don't know, or just be interesting, like be interesting, try to be entertaining, just relax. I think a lot of people think this is like a well yes Chuck, the reason why I really like one thing that I look for in guests is, you know, their posture and like their accents, and like just like be yourself, be entertaining. We love comics. You're a nerd, you clearly love this crap. You're clearly socially awkward. Be socially awkward professionally on the show. Be good at being socially awkward. So yeah, I think that's what be it. Oh, and have your shit ready. Like have your shit ready and like know what you're talking about. If you have to pitch your comic, if I say, hey, 10 seconds, pitch your comic, give it to me in 15 seconds. You can't pitch your comic in like 15 seconds or less, or even 30. If it takes you an hour to pitch your comic, I'm like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, right.
We get it. Give us the hook and get out.
It's funny. I actually gave up on a creator because of one of your streams. You were interviewing. I will not mention a name.
Yeah.
And it wasn't you at all. Obviously, it was the creator. But we had sort of been working together, and that creator went on to your channel, and you were interviewing them, and they were so awkward and ridiculous and dispassionate, and they barely listened to you, and I was getting more and more frustrated. And then at one time you were like, so what was the inspiration for this book? And they were like, I don't know, man, I don't really care about the story, I really just wanted to draw certain things, so that's why I created this book. And I was like, we're fucking done, dude. I would not be working with you again. You ruined that interview, which, I mean, it was so brutal. Like, they're trying to push
funny.
a Kickstarter, which, by the way, failed spectacularly.
Oh, shame.
But, I mean, I'm sorry. To me, it didn't fail. They failed it. Because you know, these shows give people really good, like right now, we don't have tons of people, but you have the opportunity to talk to people, and you're doing a really good job of explaining things and getting your ideas out there and whatnot, educating people, and hopefully people who enjoy this will flock to Drawn Talk on YouTube and check it out, because it totally is worth checking out. But this person, this is an opopportunity for people, and just ridiculous.
My thing is, I always tell every guest, hey, I always like, as a host, I try to like have questions. You had a ton of questions. Well, Wendy gave you a lot of questions. Obviously, you also had your own questions. I try to have a bunch of questions, and I always tell the guest, and I don't tell the guest, but I kind of I say, hey guys, I was like, hey, I have these 5 questions. We'll just answer them, and if we have a good conversation, we probably won't get through all of them. Well, if I get through all of my questions, you didn't answer them very well, and we didn't have a good conversation. If I can get to that last question and we still have time, you didn't do a good job, and we didn't have a good time.
Have we ever gotten through all of our questions?
No, which is good. Yeah. Sometimes I only do 3 questions, and I'm like, sometimes we'll just hit on that one, or you just like let the conversation flow, you know?
Dude, Frank is loving them fucking shades.
I have to wear these shades because my future is too bright.
Oh, that's cute. That's good. No, are those actual wood? Like,
no,
or is it like a plastic wood?
These were like $10. So I was gonna wear I was gonna wear these glasses. They're blue light glasses because my eyes have been hurting just looking at a screen. But then you could see like Chuck's reflection super well, even though you can kind of see them now at this point. And so I was like, I'm just gonna put these shades on because I'm on Chuck's stream and my future's too bright currently.
I feel ya. Alfie came out. What advice do you give to awkward people to show more composure?
Give up. No.
Holy fuck!
No. I had one.
That's great.
Just don't do it. You're like everyone has their one. What you think everyone has their 1 minute of fame? Yeah, I got your 1 minute. No. I don't think any, like, here's the thing. You and I are on
Ugh.
camera right now.
Mhm.
And I think you and I do really well on camera.
Mhm.
You don't have to be on camera though. If you can, like, if you feel awkward in your camera and you feel like this, like, I will give the same energy with my icon and be like, yeah, guys, my comic is so cool. But like, I will still give the same energy right now
Yeah.
with my icon as I would me doing the video. Now, if you really, yeah, so just figure out a way to like, you don't have to show your face. A lot of people on YouTube don't show their face. So figure out a way to just make good content. Here's the thing as well. It's funny. If you watch my, if you go on my patreon.com/drawandtalk, you pay for $1 a month and you see my videos. My other show that I have on there called The Broken Creator, this is what I sound like. I always lean back and I go, hey guys, man, my week was just shitty. And then that's what I do when I'm on camera doing my show. I'll be honest, this is me. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Draw and Talk. It's your boy, Tyler. Today, we're going to be doing this, and then, oh, shit. Today, we're going to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. Here we go.
You're right.
And then the intro music goes, and I go, okay. Hey, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about writing.
Yeah.
One thing you got to, and so I give that energy, but I'm not this energy. You know, I'm this energy right now because I'm talking with you, and I'll give that same energy when I'm, on recording a video, because no one wants to be like, hey guys, it's Tyler from Draw and Talk, and we have another video out. Gosh, I mean, writing it's so cool, you know.
Well, and I mean, even I did that. People will talk about my energy, but before, you and I were chatting away, we were having a good time. We even we came in a little late, but then I was like, took you out of the stream, and I was like, you know, give myself a couple steps.
I saw that. I was like,
yeah.
Are we live? Is he just like
right? Yeah, nope. That's just me, kind of like, all right, wake myself up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get ready to do it.
Showtime.
It's just kind of, yeah. That's it. That's showtime. That's exactly it. Frank Martin suggests alcohol. Not a terrible idea. I like to. You know what? I will actually have a drink now and then. Tonight, because we're with our good buddy. I'm just drinking good old Earl Grey tea.
Yeah.
So,
you do that. I don't have anything. I was like, do I have like?
You don't have anything. A couple people are gonna give up. They appreciate you letting them know.
Yes. The faster you give up, the faster you can do something else. So if you give up now, you can start doing something else. Congratulations, I saved you some time.
You know what? Actually, you have a video. Wendy reminded me of it, and actually, it's funny because I got to be a part of that video very early on in my career, and now I look at it and I'm like, oh, I knew nobody on that video, and now I know most of them.
Isn't that crazy? Is that Just Writing one?
That's just right. Yep, just keep writing. And I just watched it again. Such a fun video. I love that one. But I didn't know very many of those people at all. I think I knew of Dorfis, but I didn't really know her. And Joseph Dewis was my buddy. That was it.
Okay, what's cool though is look at everyone now. So you have your Bonfire Press, you have your books. You know, you're doing a lot more editing at this point. Joseph Dewis has done a ton of successful Kickstarters since then. Dorfis just got done doing like a $9,000 Kickstarter. Wes Nadell is currently working on his third Indiegogo book. Kevin Rototoe is like doing like a ton of stuff. So it's Steph Cannon has done. I was going to mention her. Yep. So like it is crazy, like that video where it's a bunch of people who I just asked, hey, all people had to say was just right. Chuck had to break the mold and say just keep. I was like,
I didn't swear because you said don't swear, so I said keep freaking writing.
But yeah, it's cool to see like these people in like 2 or 3 years later. Like everyone has really evolved from that video.
Well, and one we didn't mention was Frank Martin, who's still writing.
Frank doesn't do anything. Frank doesn't do anything.
Frank has a set of books set aside for me to edit, and I have not been able to get to them yet.
Frank's
and he's
like,
been patient and good.
Frank's like, I have a Kickstarter every month, and I'm
He has
always
1,000
writing, and I'm
things,
always
yeah.
producing comics. No, Frank has a really cool crime comic coming out. You know what's cool is I'll read, like, I read his Hotel Macabre
Motel.
Motel, and I read it and I went, holy shit, this is crazy, and I backed it like day one. He sent me his crime one. I'm gonna back that one.
It took me a while to jump on that one because I watched the video and he was like, the macabre, and I was like, you can't even say the fucking word right? Nope, not watching it. And then it really got a bunch of traction. I was like, people are really excited. I gotta check this out. So I did, and I enjoyed it. It was cool.
It was a good book.
But I had to make him. I was not going to be a day one subscriber because he couldn't say macabre correctly.
That's so funny because when we did our stream, I was like the macabre, the macabre, the macabre, the macabre, and he goes, it doesn't matter. You just pick one, Tyler, because I was struggling. I was struggling the whole stream. I was like, yeah, guys, so go check the.
Check out his weird motel.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack says, Chuck, if it's cold outside, just go outside. It's not anymore. It's back to normal person shorts weather. I never, even in the blizzard, I was still wearing shorts because I don't own pants, but nonetheless, he's happy with it. Braden is saying, why are you picking on Frank? Because Frank is a big boy who can more than handle it, so that's why we're picking on Frank.
You can do it, Frank. You can do
right?
it, Frank.
And look, you've got your insane comics people here. Now Braden's here too.
It's a reunion.
Right?
We can all
This
talk.
is one of those shows.
We can all cry.
Well, but you know what? That kind of thing is something that could have sunk all of you guys. Like watching something that you guys have been such a big part of and had been such a big part of your careers at that point could have really dropped you guys. But you, Frank, Luke,
yeah.
Braden, like you've got a bunch of you guys still moving on, still making stuff happen.
Dude,
wasn't Garrett Gunn a part of that too?
I don't know who that. What's his book?
Garrett Gunn, Warcorns, Franklin and Ghost. He does a bunch of stuff.
I don't recognize those. But like Kelly Bender does like did Assassin's Creed, but he did a ton of book in Insane Comics. I owe my education to Insane Comics because I needed an internship credit, and I didn't know. I needed this internship credit, and it was my last semester, and I was like, fuck. And so I went and I was like, I went to James, who was the head of Insane. I was like, hey man, if I make videos for you once a week, can you just sign the paper that said I did an internship with you? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And so I made all these videos for all the creators so that they could market their books, and I got internship credit, and I could graduate college.
And then you actually ended up making comics with them?
No. Like I was Demons was through Insane. I was doing that.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And I told, hey James, I'll make videos for everyone if you give me internship credit, so I can graduate. And he was like, yeah, sure. No, I submitted to Insane when it first launched, and
okay.
I submitted a crappy comic, and James said it was a crappy comic, and I was like, fine, I'll get better.
And you showed him,
yeah,
because you had a long running book, so
yeah, exactly.
There you go. You did what you said you'd do,
Yeah.
And you know what? We've seen an awful lot of people do quite the opposite. Like, I'll show you, and we never heard from that fucker again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. It's funny because you join these Facebook groups and you kind of see I feel like when you join a Facebook group, you get to kind of see who's in it at the time. So when I joined Indie Comic Conspiracy, there was you, Joseph Duez. I said his name wrong, didn't I? Joseph Duez. There was some other people. And now out of that core group that was in there when I joined, a lot of those people aren't making comics anymore.
Yeah.
And so you can see the people who held out. I know a lot of creators in another comic book group I joined, and we were always talking about books. There's 10 of us, and we were in a group chat, and just slowly throughout the months, just so-and-so left the group, so-and-so left the group.
And it's funny because these people, your day-to-day, they're such a big part, and then they slowly disappear, and then you're like, I don't even remember. It's hard to even remember. And then you kind of look around, you go like, who's still here? Who's a part of my class, so to
Yeah.
speak? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I think with that going kind of back to the YouTube thing, one thing I realized is that everyone needs to promote their book. And at the time, I didn't think there was like no one was really live streaming or doing these shows very much. Now that everyone's live streaming and crap, there's a million shows going on. But like, I think it's good because everyone needs to, I think, find and make their own audience somewhere. If you're a creator, you can't, so I'll say this is kind of the message that made me, I was like already like about to, after the whole Terrence thing, I was like crap. And I saw a lot of creators talk behind my back in like these private groups, but people would screenshot the stuff to me. I was like, oh man, I thought so-and-so was my friend. Chuck. No, I'm joking. Chuck wasn't one of them.
That would have been hilarious if you're like, by the way, screenshot. I'm like, oh shit, I said that. That's not good.
No, and so I was like, crap. Like, I think I'm just gonna go invite only because I don't know who I trust. And then one creator's like, hey, can I come on your show? And I went, yeah, absolutely. They went, and they were like, they're like, sweet. I can't wait to use your audience. And I went,
bye.
Oh, that's a no. Because it's one of those things where it's like, man, like I've put in all the hours and, getting my channel to where it is. And, that's kind of my space that's kind of my space. And like, I don't want, you can come in if you want to promote your book, that's fine. But like, don't say I'm going to use your audience. And
it's such a dick move.
Yeah.
It's like when I do the reviews, I've said to there's been several people where I messaged them and I was like, you didn't share the review out. And they're like, yeah, so? And I'm like, I do the review for you. I showed off your book to my audience. There's no reason why you can't go, hey, to your audience, look at these guys who said nice things. It helps to validate what you've done, first off, and also it gives a little bit back to me, which doesn't hurt because I've said this before. When I go to review a book, like anytime I go to read a comic, I've already decided I'm losing an hour. Even if it's a 10 or 15 minute book to read, I'm gonna read it, then I'm gonna do the video, I'm gonna upload it, I'm gonna make sure everything's set up, all that kind of stuff. So just reading, now reading a book is almost laborious to me because I know I'm gonna want to talk about it if I really liked it, and I'm gonna lose an hour, and a lot of times I can't afford to give it.
I'm gonna say something that might get me canceled, and I don't care because I've said a lot of things that have already gotten me canceled.
Okay.
And a lot of people might not like to hear this, but it's kind of it's literally kind of what you said is like, if I'm doing a live stream with you, that it's basically setting aside 2 hours of my day that I could be doing something else. And for me, what I kind of realized after that message was like, you don't really have anything to offer me after this. And that sounds really bad because it shouldn't be transactional like that. But if you don't really have anything to offer me, it's really hard for me to offer you everything I've got. Like everything I've got. And so, I mean, like, I have my channel. Chuck can come on, talk whatever he wants. And then, Chuck invited me to come on here, and I really appreciate it. He didn't have to, and so I think more creators, if like, I was talking with a writer who works with us, and I was like, you need to get more pre-orders with your book, otherwise it's not going to be successful. We need to get it by this launch date. She goes, I'm really trying to get onto this person's newsletter. And I was like, if you are relying on this other person's audience to do it, you're not good. You need to build out your own audience. Nandor Schaefer Fox, he just started a YouTube channel, and it looks great, and looks like he's really like going to take the time on it to build his audience there. And so I think that's like a great move for him. So I think all creators need to think, okay, how do I build my own audience and not have to rely on, like, because what if you can't get on Chuck's show? What if you can't get on Draw and Talk? What if you can't get on these other people's shows? Do all the backers of your book, or like you getting people to interest in you, if they rely on you being on so many other people's shows, if you can't get on, and you're like, I had people, like, I'm sure you get these messages too. Hey, my Kickstarter ends in a week. Can I come on your show? Like, and it's like, I only do this once a week. And I felt bad sometimes. I'd be like, yeah, well, I guess we're going to do a Thursday show. That wasn't planned. And then I don't get really anything out of it. They're like, oh, thanks so much. And then they leave and then they hop on someone else's show. And I'm like, oh,
That's why I'm enjoying this, because it's only once a week, so it's so easy to book out. I'm already booked out till almost May. And I mean, March just started, but that's just because someone comes to me and you know what? You were kind of similar, where you said, hey man, I'd really like to do a show. I want to talk about chefs. Is there something we could do? And I was like, yeah, but it's all about process. So we need to talk about that stuff. And then of course we can mention chefs. I knew you would do that. So that wasn't an issue for me. So I was glad to have...
talking about my book enough, Chuck.
I know.
Talking about my book enough. Yeah, exactly. Like,
well, and that
conversation.
That person though made it transactional when they said, "I can't wait to use your audience." Yeah. They made it transactional. Like anybody who does decide, "Ooh, maybe I should cancel Tyler." No, that's a bullshit move. That person made it transactional, and at that point, it's like, "Oh, well, if that's how you want to do it, what am I getting out of this?"
Yeah, because here's the thing. Also, I'm struggling to get my own audience to buy my book, so I don't want the $5 that can go to my book to you.
You just made a very big move, a very bold move, in order to get your own shit looked at. And they're like, "Hey, can I use you?" Fuck no,
yeah,
asshole.
Exactly. It's like, man, like I spend so many hours just doing it, and it doesn't let people talk that make them go, "Wow," with your work. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you can't have a good conversation with someone, like we haven't even mentioned chefs or a comic book I'm working after this. Let's go, Nicholas, man. After we just talked for 5 minutes about how good Demon Hunter Raven is. So
Demon Hunter, but that's the book that you decided you're not going to get the next issue. You've decided
I'm refunding now.
You're refunding, yeah.
No. I just think, yeah, like I've had people on the stream and like every 5 minutes it's like, yeah, so go buy my book. And I'm like, yo, just chill. We are here to talk. I'm actually surprised I haven't woken my kid up. But you know, like don't be here just like buy my book. Like if you look at my YouTube channel, 99% of my videos don't talk about my book. They're there for the viewer, they're there for the reader. And then we'll talk about the book either at the end or on like a special video. Now I should probably be better at that. And I'm trying to find ways to do that. You know, with my drawing videos, I'll talk about a popular topic, but in the background I'll be drawing chefs, and hopefully people go, "Oh, that's some cool artwork."
Yeah.
But you as a creator, besides being able to promote your book, you do need to be able to hold a good conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Wendy had said, I think the biggest problem some creators have an issue in building an audience is lack of time. I mean, it's true, but there's still a way to do it. And you know, you got to find the time. Like you got to figure something out. And there's ways to do it. There's things to do, such as, you know, going on to some of these shows, or you know, even just work in progress, like showing off your pieces can be huge.
Yeah, exactly. Like you guys want to know how to build an easy way to build an audience. If you're a writer and you want, like, start a blog. You're a writer, start a blog. Get people reading your articles. Get people, you know, start making content. If you feel like you can't do video, do a blog.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
why I do video? Because I'm too lazy for that.
But you know what you could do even with that blog? If you're like, I don't want to be on the video, just on the screen have like a picture and just read your blog. Just like read it. There's a Comics with Perch, a YouTube channel. He analyzes comic book sales and like the data and stuff. Yet to see his face, and all he does is has like 5 different pictures going in rotation on his video, and he just talks. And he has over 10,000 He has over 10,000 subs.
Jeez.
You don't have to show your face.
That's it, Frank. Dead on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Jack says, Chuck, just wait till you're so booked that you're going to have to do. I don't see that happening. Not that I won't get that booked, just that I won't fucking. Then I'll just be like, you get 1 day a week from me. I'm too fucking busy for that. I'm not doing it. So
Are
I
you
don't.
familiar with the channel Red Valkyrie on YouTube?
No.
They're awesome. I know the host. Her name is Shay, and if you go on the show, she'll cosplay one of your characters, like as she does it. So like yeah. So I went out. She hit me up and she was like, "Hey, I'm in Salt Lake. Do you want to get dinner?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Do you know the creator Sweetcast? He also does YouTube. He has like 6,000 subs. Anyway, so we all got dinner. He was extremely late, so it was just me and Shay, and she was just telling me like, "Gosh, I stream every day because everyone wants to come on my show, and I'm stressed." And she's always gets messages of people saying, "Hey, can I come on your show?" Oh, here's another thing creators can do: book in advance, have some project management. Hit some people up more than like a couple days or a week before. I hit up most of the people I did for chefs, even though I canceled all the shows I did because I canceled my Kickstarter. But I hit them all up a month in advance.
Yeah.
I just because you just want to go, hey, listen, I know you're busy. I know you're popular. I know you know. She was showing me her booklet, and it's just every day. Some days she had 2 streams, and I was like, Shay, you like don't feel obligated to do this. Like I know like it's so hard. Like when I said my show's invite only, and anytime someone asks can I come on the show, it does break my heart a little bit saying like you can't, because I remember being in that spot where it's like I have a comic and I just don't know how to get it out there. But us hosts, like Chuck surprisingly has a life. Surprisingly has a life, and also us doing this right now, I'm not drawing, you're not writing and editing. We're taking away. So when I was doing live shows, sometimes 3 times a week, I'm like, gosh, my book isn't being made because I'm so focused on these other people. So if you are gonna, do one, Chuck has a, I'm doing one a week. Same thing. I'm doing one a week.
Yep.
And, if you do need to get on a show, your Kickstarter's coming in like 3 or 4 months. Just send us a message. Because right now, if you were like, hey, Tyler, I want to come on your show. It's in July. Well, that's in the future. Perfect. I'll put you in the calendar. We're empty. But if you're like, I need to go like this weekend, it's not happening. I got plans. Even if I don't have plans, you're not in like there.
That. Nicholas, giving value is more important. People support creators they find valuable and can learn from and gain inspiration. Tyler checks all these marks. He's motivated, inspired tons of creators to make their dreams happen. I absolutely agree with you, buddy. I mean, you and I hooked up very early when I got into this, and
we hooked up. It was sloppy. It was romantic at times.
Yeah,
but we went.
I brought candles.
We went back home to our wives. We went back home to our wives, and we're like, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
It's 2021.
That happened. Get over it, baby. Rebel says, make the time. Some say, oh, it's family time, work time, etc. Look, it's like this. If your book is successful, that will feed your family. Put the effort and time in. I mean, yeah, you still, the time that you put into your book, though, because your book is important, you also have to find that time for your family because your family is important. Yes, certainly you have to feed them, but you also have to feed them with your time, with your love and attention and all that. So,
until my book is paying my bills,
right.
Yeah, but I agree though.
I do agree with that statement to a point though. If it's important to you, you do have to find the time. It just might mean that, like you said, you're carving out that certain period of time, kiddos in bed, great, then this is when I'm going to work. So
yeah,
you can find.
I don't play video games. Like I don't have time to play video games because I'm like, crap. Like if I play video games, I'm not drawing. Twitter's.
That's a good one, Ari.
Yeah, man. I love Ari. I've worked with Ari on several projects.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, several.
What did just said on Cartoonist Kayfabe? They always talk about the books they're selling at the start of every video. Gotta get those plugs in. Yeah, that's a good one. What is it? Zoomies came in. Boy, holy shit! There's a lot of fucking. Jeez, I'm trying to find what everyone said. I would make a blog, but I don't know what to blog about. If you're a writer, you'll figure something out. That's the best I can give you
Well,
there.
so here's the thing, real quick, is you don't try to blog about what's popular. You know, blog what you like. There are people who like what you like. So gather them in. I was talking with my friend Matt, and he's like, "Dude, I'm a history buff. Then I was like, then freaking make a history blog or make some historical videos. Those history buffs will buy your historical comic if they like you enough. But talk about what you like to talk about. People can spot a fake.
They can. That's true. They can spot a fake, and I've seen it. And I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but do you find like new people coming into the field and you look and you go, are they going to be here in a year or two?
Yeah. There's a couple people where I go, you're not staying. Not because maybe their comic isn't good, but I can tell by their expectations. When they go, yeah, my comic is 100 issues. It's going to be crazy. It's ongoing. And I instantly go, you're not going to be around. I predict this.
It was funny. I popped into your Discord one day, and somebody was asking us a question, and they said, "I have this. It was like a 300 or no, like a 1,000-page book that I'm writing with 300 and something characters. Well, how do you think I should go about? How do you think I should go about doing that?" I'm like, "Why the hell are you doing that? Like." It sounds like you just decided those arbitrary numbers are important to you. You need to hit 1,000 pages, and you need that many characters.
Comic book creators, by the way, inexperienced ones, and I'm going to say this: we do that. I'm going to make a 6-issue miniseries. Why does it have to be 6 issues? Oh well, I said I want it to be 6 issues. Why does it have to be 6? The reason why I didn't finish my hardline comic is because I said I'm going to make a 6-issue miniseries, and when I realized I only had enough story for 3, but then I didn't even like the third story. I was like, crap, I put myself in this stupid box and now I don't want to finish it. Whereas if I just made the comic and being like, oh, this is what it is. It's this, but it's like, I'm going to make a 5-issue miniseries, or I'm going to make I have to make a 1,000 page book and it has to have 300 characters. Such an even number. I have to get to 300. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. We put comic book creators, we put ourselves through these arbitrary numbers of it has to be a 4-issue miniseries. Well, why? Why can't it be a one-shot?
So it's funny. I did the exact opposite because I told people all along, Bilal's going to be 4 issues. And someone was like, oh, dude, but it's I really like what you're doing. Like, you got to do more. And I was like, no, it's 4 issues. Well, why? Because that's what I plotted it out. Like, I have it all outlined and plotted. I know what it looks like as 4 issues. If you enjoy it when it's done, we can always revisit that in another 4 issues or in whatever comes of that. But I specifically plotted for a certain number, and that's what's coming out. So,
and people who do the ongoing, like, that's like what you did is perfect because you're like, this is the story, and that's it. Well, a lot of indie creators, they have the dream of doing like the ongoing series, and you see a lot of them immediately get burnt out. I mean, one of the most heartbreaking posts was Scott Weldon with his Harlan Buck series, and which is a super awesome book. It's really well made, but like would have done better if it was just like a 6-issue story. And he was like, I want to do the ongoing. He's still making the comic book, but it'll burn you out quick when you realize ongoing stuff and sales and numbers. It'll just burn you out.
He needed to refocus, but he and I are actually working on that right now. And we between you and I, he and I are actually working on a special never before seen story for one of his trades. So he is still coming around. So that's gonna work out. Dude, so many great people on here. The ever lovely author Michaela Jade. Hey Muffin, how you doing? Tyler created a video game that you can draw, and that's the whole game. Is that an actual thing, or is he just?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Jeff Weber, you can also get multiple uses out of what you make. A Facebook post could also get turned into a yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Well, and that's why, like, if you have a floppy and you turn that floppy into an arc, then that could become a trade, which later becomes a graphic novel, which becomes an omnibus. Like, yeah, there's always ways to reformat and play with that stuff. So yeah,
absolutely.
and there you go. Yep, I've been watching yours. You got over 300 subs now. You got more than me, hon. And you just went like you just started yours recently, so or really started pushing it. So good for you. Nicholas Mueller wants a chef's video game. So get on that.
That was one of the stretch goals.
Oh, was it?
We couldn't even get it. Yeah, it was.
Wasn't that like $50,000 or something like that?
$50,000. Yeah, it was like in my silly goose dreams.
Clinton Farley says, out of all my social media followers, I feel like I'm my biggest fan lately of my art because of this corona apocalypse shit, not posting much to promote myself. Plus, Chuck knows I'm the most quiet artist at shows we attend. I'm not a talker. That is one of the things that holds me back. And that's true. But, Clinton, your art is the thing that draws people in, because I've seen him at several shows, and actually, I saw his work, and I was like, holy shit, dude. If I, I ended up getting him to draw a Welcome to the Void sketch cover for me.
Oh, nice.
Because I absolutely loved what he did. But what was funny was I was like, hey, yeah, like you're in the area. We should meet up on Facebook. And he was like, we are on Facebook together. We're That's Facebook friends. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. So I had egg on my face. But yeah, man, yes, Clinton, you can be quiet. But honestly, you're a fucking fun dude. There's no reason. Hey, man, we could always have you on the show. You could come out and talk about your work and stuff. Love to have you on. Love to show off local talent. Yeah, that's an invite between you and I, homie. Feel free to hit me up in my inbox. Ari, Tyler's one of the easiest artists to work with. He's professional, fast, and most importantly, really good.
Oh, shucks. Thanks.
I mean, I wasn't asking for recommendations because I already know he's good. Like, he did a piece for my wife, but thank you.
Dude, and what that, because Wendy's putting our story into another anthology, and I thought what we did with the jewel box,
yes,
in on it was cool. Something I think you can only do in comics, but
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love working with Ari. Every script he sent me, I've been like, this is gonna. Ari always stretches me with his scripts, and I'm always like, great, gosh, how do I figure this out? Every time I have to learn how to draw something new, a lot of it's been like Ari's scripts. I'm like, crap, I don't even know what that is. Draw a fighter plane.
This was mentioned earlier, but real quick, for her, how would you go about? She has 300 people. How would you go about doing a quick grow of your audience?
Yeah. All right. If you're on YouTube, figure out what your audience is. Start making content for those audience. YouTube is the second largest search engine. So think, okay, what are people going to search for? Think of those keywords. Do you need help finding those keywords? Download a free program called TubeBuddy, and it's a little pop-up thing. And then you just type in what your title is or what you want to talk about, and it'll let you know all the keywords and what people are searching for, and then you put that in, and then after that, give yourself a good title, give yourself a good description, give yourself some good tags, and then most importantly, make a really good thumbnail that people are going to like and click on. If you need to know what a good thumbnail looks like, just hit the trending section on YouTube, and you'll see what other people are doing, and they're successful.
There you go. That's perfect, dude. Brayden says those people with ongoing series dream need to take a step back and start smaller. Yeah, sadly, you're right. We started. Oops. There I am. I disappeared for a sec. Yeah, sorry. When we started, I won't mention names, but there was a guy who came out. He made his comic. We were all kind of excited as it was coming out and whatnot. And he was talking about, I want to do it like a TV series. And so each season is going to be 10 issues long. And I was like, okay. And he's like, and I want to do 10 seasons. And I was like, that's 100 issues. He's like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, it took you a year to do one issue. You're going to be 100 and fucking, what are you, 35?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and that hit him in the dick, and I think that was one of the things where he was like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm not meant for this.
Yeah, I actually feel bad. I actually did a video purge on my channel where I like purged a bunch of old videos, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
Of his book, because it was one of those things where like the book just needs some time to like, it just needed to be at a smaller scale.
Yeah.
But what sucks is, you're right, is he took so long making this book, and when he realized that he couldn't reach the scope that he wanted, he immediately just burned him. Like the fire just went out completely, and shame, like he's not around in the scene anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was cool, and he could work. He was good. Sierra Nova says, my voice is super monotone, but I'm trying to not sound dull. You know what, dude? I haven't had an issue with, like, I get
that. Greg's got that baby face that we just like.
He does. He has the baby face, and he's all fucking tatted out. So,
I know. I didn't know he was tatted. I was like, "What the? What are those on his arms? Those are
right.
That's artwork." Yeah, he's like, "Hi guys," but he's got like just tatted.
I don't know if you saw this one. It's really funny. You know, when Belial was coming out, we went nuts. We went nuts with it, and we were having fun. And we're on a show 2 days before, trying to get everyone excited. And we were like, hey, what do we have to do to get people to follow and get excited about Belial? And there was a woman in there, and she's joking around. She's like, you got to get naked.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, okay, whatever. And like, all you're seeing is this of me. So I just took my fucking shirt off and I threw it aside. Thought that was funny. Well, then Sean is with me, and Sean's like, yep, okay, this is happening. And Sean pulls his shirt off, throws it aside. And then the host is sitting there, Russell Allen is sitting there, and he's like, okay, yeah, I guess this is what we're doing. We did the rest of the show completely shirtless, all three of us. We were having a blast. It was hilarious. Yes, we got tons of followers. You can't do that with every book, but Belial is one of those books.
Did you guys at any point show off your areolas?
We might have. I don't know. I'm sure at some point I stood up, or like, probably.
Okay.
I know that Russell did, because Russell tends to like.
It doesn't count if you saw a nipple. His nipples are high.
Just the areolas, like.
Are his nipples high? Yeah, just the.
No, he just sits. He sits up higher and tends to.
See a nipple.
Right. Well, and the tattoo thing. He had all these tattoos on his chest. They're like a rust brown.
So you couldn't see his nipples.
They were like a rust brown.
Okay. Everyone's like, what is this show devolving into? That's so funny.
Yeah, so Michaela Jane's like, so use my boobs. I'm not saying not to. How about that? Yeah. And I've seen some shows
do you want to
that
succeed
do use
or
boobs,
what?
and they work. Yeah, right.
Do you want to be?
What are you willing to do?
Do you want to succeed or what? If I had boobs, I'd show them off.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
if you're doing an ongoing, split it in an arc so it can end after one of those. Yes, 100%.
So
totally
when
agree. See?
So when we did Demons with Insane Comics, I pitched a 4-issue series. I said my story, I've written out my story. It's gonna have 4 issues, and that's that. Like, it's done. And after the fourth and after the 3rd issue, James messages me. He's like, "Hey, dude, it's getting sales. It's doing really well. It ends on the 4th one." I went, "Yup." And he goes, "Do you have any more story to tell?" And I was like, "I guess I can like figure out if I have any story." Chuck's dying. I was like, "Do I have any more story to tell?" And so he's like, "Hey, if you can start making more series, more of this book, let me know, and we'll make it into an ongoing, but have an end in mind." So I plotted out. I was like, okay, I have another 10 issues of story to do. But yeah, we started out with 4 and we ended it, and because it was popular, that's why we continued it. But I think every story needs to have like an escape, like a way out. Because if you do an ongoing, like with Chefs, one thing that like even now, like I'm still making these stupid mistakes. Chefs is a 12-volume series. Gosh, what if it doesn't do well? So like I don't know why I thought like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do all 12. It's gonna take the next like 5 years for me to do this. So I've created an out with like the one I'm working on right now. Maybe I'll create an out on the 3rd one. But yeah, guys, like if you're a new creator, please don't do ongoing series unless you are a writer-artist. Unless you are a writer-artist, you do all the aspects, that's fine. Go for it. Even then, I caution you.
Yeah, absolutely. Brayden came in and said, "Let me tell you, I wish I would have done that with my first ongoing series." Yeah. Yeah, Mike says that woman was Trish and she is laughing. Yes, that was your wife. She did get us to get naked and it worked out very well for all of us. Oh yeah, see, Jack remembers it. He said he did see our nipples, so I'm glad you remember my nipples. And here Tyler's getting all hot and bothered about Chuck's nipples. No, not mine. He's more excited about the other guys.
I'm just curious, I just want to know what everyone's color of their nipple is.
Right. And size too. Like, are they little like silver? Like, are they big old silver dollar ones? You got some dimes
like
going on.
Some people are like M&M size, and some people cover the whole area.
Right.
Whatever. Yeah.
I'm interested, man. No, I feel you. You know what though, guys? We've gone almost 2 hours. This has been, let's just say it, it's been a silly goose time. We had a blast. But you brought the information, so I want to thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Could you please tell everybody about you, where they can find you, etc., my good buddy?
Yeah. All right, guys. My name is Tyler. I'm freaking awesome. I'm Asian. No. So you guys can find me at youtube.com/drawandtalk, where every single week we post a video. Either that's something about comic books, how to make comic books, or maybe I'll just post a video about myself. We do live streams every single week as well, and sometimes we'll do more than one, where we'll just watch a video together and we'll just make fun of it and have a silly goose time. 2 weeks ago, we watched a video called 5 Millennials Have to Figure Out Who Gets $1,000, and we roasted the crap out of those 5 17-year-olds, and we all felt good about it. So yeah, it's a silly goose time. You can find me on Twitter as well, Tyler_C_world, and on Instagram you can find me at Draw and Talk. And I'm the creator of the comic book Chefs, which is going to be on Webtoons after I canceled my 100% funded Kickstarter. So you guys can find me on Webtoons. You can read the series for free. Just type in Chefs, Chefs. My book is the first one that comes up. You'll be able to read that entire book for free there. We'll be publishing weekly episodes. And then, but really the best place to find me is youtube.com/drawandtalk. And who knows, maybe I'm thinking the next couple videos will be like more like vlog styles. You can see what I do in a day and how I get stuff. So youtube.com/drawandtalk. But thanks, Chuck, for having me on.
No,
this was a long time.
I know, right? But it didn't feel long.
It didn't feel like, when you said it was an hour, I like looked up at the time clock and I was like, oh crap, it's almost 10 o'clock my time. It's like almost midnight for you.
It's Texas, so it's almost 11 for me. Yeah. But yeah, man, we did 2 hours, but again, there was lots of stuff to learn and all that, and I will not delete this, my friends, I promise. Next week on the show, please tune in. I'm going to have my good buddy, a local artist, Douglas Brown, who has done all sorts of amazing stuff. I would love it if you guys were here. Thank you so much. Everybody, please go check out Tyler. His work has been absolutely amazing, and I love his channel. I really think you guys will too. Peace, love, and comics. My name is Chuck. I give a fuck. Take care.